Greetings, YouTube. Today is October 31st, Halloween, Day of the Dead, Samhain. And I'm going to give you a tour of the graves that I visit every year on this day. I'm also going to put in some still images that my wife's taken, because her camera is far better at taking shots than my flip is, and she has a much better eye. She's an accomplished semi-professional photographer. So I thought that you might find this all interesting, and I'll have a follow-up video at the end. Greetings, YouTube. Today is October 31st, Halloween, the Day of the Dead, Samhain. And as part of my annual celebration of this day, I always visit certain graves. So I'm going to be taking you to those graves today. And at the moment, we are in Pembroke, New Hampshire. And this is a grave that I discovered a long time ago. I don't really remember how long it's been. And I just felt a connection with this particular person. So every year I come out and I visit him. And he's way in the back corner of the cemetery. This is a fairly old cemetery. There have been a few new burials here, but not many. And as you can see from the condition of some of the stones, they're not really well maintained. It's really hard to keep some of the slate stones vertical, because the ground here in New Hampshire heaves so much because of the cold and hot weather cycles. But here we are. I'm going to see if I can bring you in, get you a focus on this grave. His name is Calvin. I've been here, coming here for over a decade. Every year I bring him an offering of candy, and every year I bring him a toy. Sometimes these toys stay around, sometimes the toys don't. And I've found that people have destroyed the toys on occasion. But these people here, these three stones here, are all of Calvin's siblings. I don't know if you can read them. They're not in great shape. They're old, covered in moss. But this is his spot. This is his family. This is where he's been since 1838. I don't know why I feel a connection to Calvin, but I do. And it's a nice place, though. He has a big field in the back, and it's all kind of overgrown. And we have the whole cemetery here. And you can see these trees were probably planted a long time ago when they were much smaller. And then we have the wall, classic New England stone wall. And now I'm going to take a minute before I leave, and I'll take you on to the next site. Okay, we are now in the Valley Street Cemetery, and this stone right here, Addie, is actually someone a friend of mine knows, or has an association with, even though she passed away in 1888. And he doesn't get a chance to come out here very often, so I come out and visit her on the Day of the Dead, and I thought I'd bring you out today and show you around. And I also leave her an offering, as I do at all the graves I visit today. And we're going to be heading out this way. I thought I'd just show you some of the other stones in here. Actually, it's closer than I thought it was. So I'm going to bring you around this way and show you a mausoleum, which I have always found vastly fascinating. If you look in here, you can see the entire hillside is actually built up with little family plots. I don't know why they didn't come down here where things are flatter, but they didn't. I know part of the reason is that where I am standing, there is a river, believe it or not, right under my body. But it's not everywhere, just in certain sections. There's water that flows underneath this cemetery at an angle from one corner of it to the other. This is the Valley Street Cemetery in Manchester, New Hampshire. And we have this small mausoleum down here, which I'm going to show you, before I show you the one that I actually want to give a view of. Obviously not well cared for. J.U. Parker, 1873. But this is the one I want to show off. This one has always fascinated me. Up on this hillside with this incredible view of the rest of the cemetery, basically. But it was interesting. I mean, someone went to a really profound level of effort to build this mausoleum into this hillside. It's really quite pleasant. It's the Smith family with a Y, and I think I can get some zoom on that. I don't know how much. I apologize about the plane. I have no control over that. There's also the mausoleum over there. It's not quite as interesting. But the Smith is always fascinated me. Okay, while I'm at this cemetery, I thought I would show off this stone. Because the person died on October 31st, 1879 at 85 years old. And what's interesting is this is not a stone. This is actually made out of aluminum, which is why someone was able to crack the top off so easily, because aluminum does not have a lot of ductility. But it really is a lovely piece, and it's just a real pity that someone decided that the best way to show appreciation was to destroy it. We have a lot of vandalism in this cemetery here in Manchester. It depresses me to no end. Well, we're at the last grave that I visit on my tour on the Day of the Dead. This is Donald Dixon. He is my stepbrother. He died in 1990 at far too young an age. He was 34. We lost him to complications due to AIDS. It's not something that I talk about a whole lot. I have spoken about Donnie in the past. But this is the mausoleum he lives in. It's a nice one. It's a little echoey. Sorry about that. And this is the table where people leave offerings. That's where I'll leave his offering this year. But every year I come in, and there's always fresh flowers. Though oddly, in all the years I've come here, and I do visit Donnie fairly frequently, there's never been anyone else here. It's kind of a lonely place, I guess. Well, I hope that you enjoyed the tour this year. I've never really shared it before, and now's the first. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tour. And besides it being Halloween, it is also my wedding anniversary, specifically my 6th wedding anniversary. And the 6th anniversary in the list of traditional gifts to give your partner is cast iron. So my wife and I gave each other cast iron gifts. Now my wife gave me this. It's a bat, and it is a door knocker. Now it sounds a lot louder when it's actually on a door. I'm not going to be able to put it on my door in the apartment right now because the door is very, very thin. The screw would go right through it. So I'm going to mount it on the door frame here in the office so I can get to see it all the time. And I gave my wife, maybe a full shot, this is a rooster trivet. And it's cast iron, so it's appropriate. But it's also of a rooster, because my wife has a thing for chickens. But after having gotten it out and actually played with it a little bit, well, yeah, this is vintage from the 1970s. It kind of looks like a holy symbol. Like you should be going like, hey, by the power of the rooster, I drive you out. Which would be completely appropriate if you're ever playing in a role-playing game and your character was worshiping a rooster. It also vaguely makes me think of a cockatrice, which is a monster from mythology. So that's been my day so far. My wife and I are still going to go out to dinner. At around 4:30 tonight, I'll be putting out an offering of food for the dead with a small ceremony involved in that. I always leave out bread and meat and candy and fruit. This year, no cheese, because I have no cheese anymore in my home. And beer. My wife, in fact, bought a special beer last night. What was it, dear?
Dead Guy Ale!
Dead Guy Ale. She was very happy to get her hands on it because it's a very tasty ale.
It's fantastic.
Here we go. Dead Guy Ale. So that'll be going out to the offering tonight. The rest of it will be going into my wife. So I hope you had a good Day of the Dead today, a good Halloween, a good Samhain, however you want to, whatever it means to you. So tell me, how did you spend today?